My name is Justin Barnett, and I'm the head of marketing for South African Tourism North America. I'm based in New York City. And in the more than 10 years that I have been with the tourism board, I've been lucky to travel to South Africa more times than I can count. And throughout my time there, I have really found that there is a wide variety of experiences that are on offer. We're talking about adventure. We're talking about culinary and wine and culture, art, and of course, wildlife. And we've got a range of price points that are suitable for any budget. They really present great value for money in terms of both service and experience. But I would say the most memorable part of each of my visits has been that amazing South African hospitality. The warmth, the friendliness, the sense of humor of South Africans, that's always the thing that I come home remembering. And the good news is, South Africa, well, it's open and it's ready for travelers. We like to say we're ready when your clients are ready. We've been reopened for tourism since November 2020, and as of June 2022, all remaining COVID-19 regulations have been repealed. That means travelers entering South Africa, you're no longer required to produce your vaccination certificate or a recent negative PCR test. And as always, for our US and Canadian passport holders visiting South Africa for 90 days or less for both tourism and business purposes, you do not need a visa. And the Americans and the Canadians have been coming through. The USA was South Africa's top source market for 2021, number 1, and Canada came in at a very strong number 10. So for all of you on the call today who are busy selling South Africa, you out there talking about the Rainbow Nation and booking your clients, thank you so much. That's because of you that we're seeing such positive recovery out of this North American market. And now getting to South Africa from this side is easier than ever. And that's in big thanks to our partners from United and Delta. United, as you probably know, has got 5 times weekly service to Johannesburg from Newark, and they've got 3 times weekly service to Cape Town from Newark. And drum roll, please, starting November 17th, just a few weeks away, we are introducing 3-time weekly service to Cape Town from Washington Dulles. Again, that's on November 17th. We open a new flight from Cape Town, from Washington Dulles to Cape Town on United. And Delta has been a long-term partner for South Africa. They've been flying down for more than 15 years. And they right now have 6 times weekly service from Atlanta to Johannesburg. And then, drum roll for them, please, December 17th, they are opening a Cape Town route from Atlanta with 3 times weekly service. And of course, as you would know, there are lots of other great options via Europe or the Middle East where you can get your clients down as well. Well, like we said, coming in as number 1 from the USA in 2021 and a very strong number 10 for Canada, North American travelers are ready to live again. And we know that what they are looking for is something outside of the ordinary. They want to get outside their comfort zone. They want to be invigorated. They want to be excited. They want to be exhilarated again. They want to travel to open their minds, to experience new cultures, and they want to experience that restorative power of nature. And the good news is, as many of you guys on the call today already know, South Africa delivers exactly that. South Africa is that destination that is going to help them reawaken, re-energize, and reignite their spirit. We're going to give you authentic, unfiltered experiences. We've got warm hospitality, cultural diversity, the Rainbow Nation, and it's an opportunity to contribute to conservation and supporting of local communities. At the end of the day, it's an experience that is going to leave your clients both renewed and transformed. So as we like to say, from breathtaking beauty to sun-soaked coast, whether we're talking about wildlife, active adventure, vibrant urban energy, incredible warmth, cultural diversity, South Africa is a traveler's dream. Now let's see why.
Faithful to OR10 is now boarding.
Come. Awaken again. Touch. Smell. Hear. Taste life. Drink it all in. Wade knee-deep into wonder and fill the bucket list of your soul. Breathe again in the place humankind took its first breath. Laugh again, unmuted in the land of 1,000 tongues. Love again, unfrozen in the warmth of our people and our sun. Feel again as you've longed to feel, as you were born to, made to, need to feel. Heart racing, thundering, soaring. Come, connect with our people and rediscover what it means to truly live again.
Ooh, all right, I was just having a look at the chat, and good morning to everybody from across the US. We see Boston, we see LA, we see Detroit, we see Vancouver, hello in Canada. Beautiful Cape Town, hello from that side. Sanibonani, Dumelang, hello. Edmonton, Canada. Yes, thank you. Miami, Alpharetta, Georgia. Hello. So glad to have you here. All right. Let us dive into some of those incredible experiences that you just saw in the new Live Again piece, starting with wildlife and safari. Now, there is a reason that safari is our marquee experience. A game drive, if you've been on it, you know this. A game drive, it engages your senses from the start. You can hear the distant roar of a lion, you can spot a rare leopard in a tree, or you can feel the ground shake as a herd of giant elephants crosses right in front of you. And with perfect days ending in the comfort of our luxury lodges or sharing campfire stories of what you saw on the game drive under 1,000,000 stars, your clients will not be able to help feeling like they never want to go home. Now, while our game drives are the most well-known way to enjoy safaris, really the options are endless. You can do walking safaris or self-drive safaris, see it all by hot air balloons, or go horseback riding, or even go by river. You can scout the bushveld for wildlife and go whale watching along the coast. You can try bird watching in our forests, or even see what the mountains have in store for you. Let's see a little bit more about that. All right, so a few of the key wildlife and safari experiences that we would have seen there. We're talking about seeing the Big Five on a safari drive in the Kruger National Park. That's in Mpumalanga. We are talking about visiting elephants. We saw Addo Elephant Park in the Eastern Cape. We're talking about seeing our decked out little buddies on Boulders Beach while observing penguins just outside of Cape Town. That's in the Western Cape. We saw a search for rare wild dogs among the rich biodiversity of Madikwe's Game Reserve in the Northwest. And we saw opulent game lodges in the Sabi Sands area of Mpumalanga. So as we think about other offerings, we stay outdoors where we got breathtaking nature stretching out in every direction. It almost seems like the horizons never end. We've got mind-blowing peaks of the Drakensberg Mountains. We've got our flat-top world wonder, it's Table Mountain, of course. What else? Oh, you can stand at the top of the amazing Blythe River Canyon and see the place where millions of daisies burst to life in the desert. Your clients can stroll along our beautiful beaches that never end. They can take a hike up ancient hills and through forests they seem older than time. They can wake up to bushveld views that make time seem to stop. No matter where you send your clients in South Africa, every day ends with a perfect horizon to look out on. Okay, some of the key experiences that we saw there when we're talking about the scenic outdoors. We saw the stunning garden route that's stretching from Cape Town all the way over to Keberka or Port Elizabeth. We saw the 240 million-year-old Sudwala Caves and the stunning Blythe River Canyon, both in Mpumalanga. We saw the Richtersveld cultural and botanical landscape in the Northern Cape. We saw our friends sipping local wines among the vineyards as they watched the sunset over the Cape Mountain Range in Stellenbosch. We saw the Namakwaland flower route. Wow, that is gorgeous, where each spring the Northern Cape blooms in what looks like an endless sea of wildflowers. And then, of course, we saw travel overland between Pretoria and Cape Town aboard the luxury trains Blue Train and Rovos Rail. I'll take a pause just to say I see a lot of people in the chat saying, where can I get these videos? I've got to have these videos. If you look on the handouts tab in our webinar, you see chat, and then right beside it is handouts. I have made a handy PDF for you that you can download, and it's got links to all sorts of information you're going to want, including our Ask beaches are going to lure your clients into relaxing all day. And we've got many of the freshest flavors of the sea that we will pile high on their plates at our beachside restaurants. We've got hiking trails through forests and wetlands, secret beaches, ancient ecosystems that go on with life just the way they always have. Our sun-soaked coasts are ready all year round to share our secret adventures and lazy days with your clients. right, now some of the top experiences that you saw there along our coasts. Well, you can see the 5 ecosystems in one day at the Isimangaliso Wetland Park in KwaZulu-Natal. You can visit one or many of our blue flag beaches. We've got 41 of them, awarded for their high standards of water quality, the environmental management, and their safety and services. You can, of course, get up close with the great white sharks on a shark cage dive in Gansbaai in the Western Cape. You can experience the sardine run when millions of sardines swim up the KwaZulu-Natal coast, creating a feeding frenzy like no other. In Cape Town, we've got the Two Oceans Aquarium. It's surrounded by unique underwater fauna and flora of the Atlantic and Indian Oceans. Of course, we're known for surfing. You can try world-class surfing in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, and also in Cape Town. And you can watch the southern right and the humpback whales as they migrate along the Cape South coast. Now let's get in touch with our cultural roots. South Africa is the place where the human story started. That's at the cradle of humankind. Your clients can see ancient Africa preserved on rock faces in our caves and our historical sites, or you can follow the footsteps of Nelson Mandela all the way to his humbling prison cell on Robben Island. Then you'll be welcomed by our new, thriving South Africa. You can dive into our way of life and celebrate our rich modern culture at buzzing urban markets, art galleries. We've got jazz bars and vibrant township communities. Our story is told in many historical sites and museums around the country and expressed today in rich cultural traditions, food, music, and our vibrant urban culture. As we like to say, to be in South Africa is to be welcomed home not only as a traveler, but as a friend. All right, so a recap of some of the fantastic experiences that we saw in that video. We saw the ancient history of the Cradle of Humankind World Heritage Site. That is the home to the oldest human fossils ever found. That's just a short drive outside of Johannesburg in the Gauteng province. We saw people experiencing history at the homes of former Nobel laureates Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu in Soweto, outside of Johannesburg. We saw what life is really like on a typical South African farm in the Free State. We saw travelers catching a ferry from Cape Town out to Robben Island, where they were walking the halls of South Africa's history. We saw people visiting the former home of Mahatma Gandhi just outside Durban, and we saw them staying in KwaZulu-Natal to pay their respects to the King of the Zulus. And of course, we saw the spirit of Ubuntu being celebrated as clients visited the Indebele, Xhosa, Pedi, Basotho, and Zulu traditions at the Lesedi Cultural Village in Gauteng. All right, now we are coming into the city. If you've been to South Africa, you know that our cities are buzzing. They are bursting with color and life. You've got to come down and let South African locals be your guide to all their favorite hotspots. The places where you can learn dances, where you can taste experiences like you've never had, and they will share the best kept secrets of these cities they love. Whether we're talking about being pampered in some of the best hotels, to hanging out at trendy weekend markets and relaxing on rooftop bars, or whether it's I needed some this morning, the magical smell of fresh coffee at our chilled out cafes, or digging into our amazing melting pot of food meal after meal, holidays in our South African cities are all about spoiling the senses. Let's start with the mother city of Cape Town. Now let's move on to Johannesburg. Okay, just a quick recap of some of the incredible experiences we saw in the mother city of Cape Town and the city of gold, Johannesburg. We saw night fall over Johannesburg, where you could enjoy a glass of amarula around the fire at the Sand Sun roof deck. We saw people gallery hopping through Joburg's Arts on Main for the latest in African art and homemade crafts. Of course, we saw people absolutely shopping till they drop at Mandela Square in Sandton before catching a show at the Market Theatre in Newtown. And we saw the Cape Town International Jazz Festival mingling with both international and African musical lovers. We saw locals on the beaches of Durban's Golden Mile enjoying an authentic South African barbecue, or as we call it, a braai. And of course, we saw an urban cycling tour of Soweto. Now, as we come into the final stretch, are you ready for some active adventure? In South Africa, you're going to be able to stare straight into the eyes of an enormous great white shark with only a cage between you. You're going to feel every sense explode into life as you bungee from this spectacular Blokran's Bridge. You're going to hold on tight for a white-knuckled ride down our famous rivers. Whether we're talking about skydiving, quad biking, windsurfing, treetop zip lining, international cycle races, or sporting events, whether people want to have relaxing strolls along our promenades or even a quiet game of golf, there is no shortage of adventure in South Africa. And I would like to say it is all found among the world's most beautiful settings. So now let's take a look at those adventures. Woo, all right, that's got my adrenaline pumping already. A few things that you would have seen there worth pointing out: hot air balloon safaris across the Northwest province, a kayaking across the Orange River near the Ochrabi Falls in the Northern Cape, zip lining through the treetops like Tarzan in the Tsitsikamma Eastern Cape area, leaping from that world's highest commercial bungee jump at the Blokranz Bridge in the Eastern Cape, crashing through the rapids of the Ash River as you experience some of that whitewater rafting in the Free State, taking to the skies with a flight in a microlight over the sugarcane fields along Balito in the KwaZulu-Natal area, and of course, incredibly beautiful horseback exploration by horseback, getting my tongue twisted, across exquisite beaches like Noordhoek just outside of Cape Town. Well, we have seen 6 different areas of experiences all across South Africa. But really at the heart of all of them, no matter we're talking about wildlife, we're talking about adventure, we're talking about culture, beaches, scenic beauty, or that city lifestyle, at the heart of all those experiences are our amazing South African people. Game rangers, outdoor adventure guides, chefs and winemakers, local city guides. As I was saying in the beginning, that warmth, that friendliness, that invaluable knowledge and expertise in their own fields, that's what really brings these South African experiences to life.
We want this country to be open to anyone.
Good evening, welcome.
What I love the most about being a guide, I get to share about the beauty of my country.
I always wanted to be a storyteller. I always wanted to talk about my community to the world.
Being South Africa to me means pride.
Religion, culture, and everything, we are very rich.
For me, paradise isn't overseas, it's over here.
Just an incredibly rich area.
Incredible panoramic vistas, deep valleys of indigenous forests.
First time I came here, it just blew my mind.
I don't think that anybody should be thinking about coming. It's a question of, decide when.
Meet South Africa!
Okay, as we begin to wind down, I will just point out one more time that if you check the Handouts tab right beside the chat link, check the Handouts tab, you are going to find a handy PDF that we've made for you. It has got, among other things, I see people still asking that have just joined us, they are going to be able to find their access to our images, our videos, and marketing collateral on our digital asset library. That link is right in there for you. You'll be able to click, download all of that, and use with pride. No sign up required. It's absolutely free. You can have that as you wish. Many of the videos I've shown today are located there as well. You're going to find information about our Essay Specialist program. If you are just starting out in selling South Africa, you are going to want to have a look at that. It's going to tell you more about these 6 areas that I've talked a little bit about today. You'll learn more about the big cities. We saw Cape Town and Johannesburg. There is also the incredibly beautiful city of Durban. We've got We've got Pretoria, Tshwane, and we've got Keberga, Port Elizabeth, other cities that you'll want to see there. You're going to find access to our research. So our AI department, the things that they let us know about, we share with you there. Obviously, our social media as well. And then you can access digital copies of our map and brochure that you can share with your clients. All that in the PDF that is available on the Handouts tab. And then you'll see that we want you to stay in touch with us. So if you are a Twitter user, the absolute best Twitter account for travel trade to follow is at SA Travel Trade. That's at SA for South Africa Travel Trade. That comes out of our head office, and it has got updates daily on all the things that are new in South Africa. So they're talking about new hotel openings or interesting new products, guys that are doing innovative and creative things in their space as guides, as entrepreneurs, etc. They do a lot of things about Africa's Travel Indaba, which happens annually, or Meetings Africa. They'll let you know that information. Then our consumer-facing social platforms include at South Africa on Twitter, at Visit South Africa on Instagram, and Visit South Africa on Facebook. So that information is all targeted towards consumers. You are welcome to also steal with pride, borrow those posts and repost them on your own accounts. You're more than welcome. Again, you have my contact information here. I'm Justin Barnett. I'm based in New York. And then you also have the contact details for my colleague, Judy Pillay. You see her in the center of the picture right there. So you can reach out to either of us. We'd be happy to help you out wherever we can. And that brings us to the end of our time together today. We're just slightly over the half-hour mark. I'm going to take a look through some of the chat comments and see if there are any questions I can answer in just a few more minutes. Otherwise, the fabulous Heather will help us get this with your email addresses, and we will be able to send you a response by email. So let's have a look here. Thank you to everybody who's making positive comments about what they've seen and heard today. Really complimenting the beautiful country. I see many of you are missing it and looking back to go. Yes, Miss William Page Goodrich, you need some updated brochures. You are going to find the link to the latest brochure on that PDF handout, and you'll be able to share that with any of your clients by email. They can click right on that link and have a digital copy. Hi, Marion. Lovely to see you here. Thank you. Nicole, yes, the gorgeous St. Lucia. We must not forget that. Okay, fantastic. Yes, yes. So timing, how long do you need to visit South Africa? Thanks for raising that question. I think that a good place to begin with is in the neighborhood of 2 weeks, right? Because from the US, we do have a little bit of time under us to get about 15 hours to get there from the East Coast, a little longer if the clients are traveling from the West Coast, et cetera, if they're taking any of those Delta or United flights. I think that you'll want to have at least about 2 weeks there to work with. That gives you a chance to get them in, get them perhaps some foundational information, great experiences they might want to have in the Johannesburg area to really learn about that culture and history. They can see the more recent history, the Long Walk to Freedom, the Mandela, the post-apartheid story, and they can also see ancient history right at the cradle of humankind like we were talking about. Then people, of course, want to visit Cape Town, the mother city. They can see there the Table Mountain. They can do Robben Island. Of course, the incredible winelands of that area. If they're adventurous, the shark cage diving is there as well. You want to do several nights that side. And then you want to leave time for safari, which for so many people is their #1 bucket list item that they want to do. Safari, you can do in many places around the country. A lot of people like the Kruger National Park area and the Sabi Sands Private Reserve. There's some great safari options in KwaZulu-Natal, also the Eastern Cape. I was just looking back for World Tourism Day at some photos. I did some great safari in the Waterberg area in Limpopo. So lots of good options there we can talk about as well. Yes, we've talked about the video access. We've all got that. Hi, Meredith. Lovely to see you here as well. Thank you, Monet. Lola, thank you. Yes, all videos are, as we said, are going to be on the handout under that PDF. And yes, today's webinar session was recorded, and we will do an email blast back to you and all our other friends who wanted to RSVP but couldn't make it in person today, so you'll be able to review this again. Okay, fantastic. I think that's going to put us at time. We're just a few over. Thank you so much for being here with us. Rubina, I'll just say as the last thing, on the handout tab, look at the brochure, and in the back of the brochure, there are 3 starter itineraries that you could take a look at. 3 starter itineraries in the back of that brochure. Thank you so much to TA Connect. Thank you so much to all our travel advisors that are hanging in here with us today. We appreciate you. We appreciate your tenacity over the challenges of the last few years, and we are looking forward to seeing you in South Africa soon. Thank you so much, everybody.
Oh my gosh. So I just want to say out loud that this was such an amazing webinar. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this webinar. We're going to be going to South Africa next year, and this really, really got me pumped up. If you guys have any additional questions about South Africa, you guys can either reach out to them or reach out to us so that we can, reach out to the other travel suppliers. But this was absolutely amazing. You guys have an amazing day.